Government ought to be, I think there's an opportunity for government to reconceive its role, not simply as a provider of services, but rather as a platform that enables others, especially citizens, to provide services in their own behalf. And I think, you look at it, citizens can plant trees and flowers in the public realm, they can tend them, they can paint, create trails. There's a group of volunteers in Dallas a few months ago that did a complete street overnight. Has anyone seen this video? Yeah, it's terrific, isn't it? It's so inspiring. I mean, they decided we're going to show the traffic engineers here what a complete street looks like and how it functions, and by God, overnight they went out and did the whole thing and made it work. The video is wonderful. But the point is this: a robust public life ought to mean more than paying your tax bill. It ought to mean more than citizens showing up at some dreadful public meeting and yelling, "Not in my backyard." It ought to be more than ritualistic planning meetings that only a few people can attend, or have the patience, if they get there, to stay the duration. I believe it means that citizens can actually re-engage with their government, not simply to complain or give opinions. I bet the mayor's got plenty of opinions, or to pay a bill, but actually do something positive on their own behalf. I think smart cities are going to enable such engagement and embrace it enthusiastically. And finally, in the face of all the bad news, I think we need to find ways to encourage optimism, a belief that a better life is available to each of us and all of us, because otherwise people won't invest in themselves or their community, thereby making a bad situation worse. So creating a community that develops all of its talent, puts all of its talent to work, creating a community of inspiring places, creating a community where citizens can meet their daily needs without owning a car, creating a community that offers a robust public life to all of its citizens, and creating a community where citizens believe that there is a better life for themselves and their neighbors. Those, I believe, are the imperatives for breaking away from that outdated version of the American dream introduced 80 years ago, so that we can finally get about building the next generation of great American cities. And you are on the front lines of that challenge. I want to wrap up and tell you one quick story. For the past year at CEOs for Cities, we traveled to 30 cities across the country, organizing communities to achieve the talent dividend, because it's worth so much, it drives so much of city success. The numbers are so powerful, and the need is so urgent. Little Miss Sunshine here thought, oh, we're going to go out, we're going to tell people this, boy, they're going to snap into action, and boy, we'll have people all over the country clamoring to be the first city to achieve the talent dividend. We want those to do, we want that $938 million in our community, especially now. But that's not the case. It's not even close. In fact, the first question that we were asked in almost every community is, who's already done this? Second question, what are the best practices? Well, those of course were ridiculous questions in the face of a brand new idea, but this is what you get when you introduce a brand new idea. In this world, I've learned there are a few leaders and then there are a lot of followers. Gary Hamel, who's one of the great innovation experts, is someone I've had the opportunity to interview a number of times. And he told me that anything that is identified as a best practice probably isn't, because it's been copied too frequently to be best. He said the best practices are always at the leading edge of practice, not yet widely known or distributed. And that, I believe, is actually one of Louisville's hidden strengths. In your recent history, you have memory. 10 years ago, you tackled a tough issue, consolidation, and you got it done. You didn't wait to transform yourselves until you had perfect information you knew you'd never had. You didn't wait for all the best practices to be cataloged. As Hamel points out, you can't completely trust what you're reading anyway. You had what you thought was a good idea, and you went for it. I think the same is true of tackling these three deep drivers of change that you've set forth. You don't have much choice other than to carve your own path, because normal, as we've known it, not coming back. Waiting for normal is like waiting for Godot. You're going to be waiting a very long time. I think you have the opportunity, we all have the opportunity, to use this crisis to throw out the old playbook and figure out where America needs to go next. You can invent the future of America here in Louisville, and that means we all have a stake in your success. So I thank you very much for letting me be here today and hear this great work that you presented, Carolyn, you presented, and give us a chance to share it with the rest of the country. Thanks.